I've just released my app called Anime Leak, and I'm trying to find a better email provider. When I've been looking up these different email providers, they want to charge me an arm and a leg just to send emails to my customers saying, hey, I have this new feature available. We should do something about it. And so today I'm speaking with my friend Ryan Vogel. He's actually a developer relations person, and his job is to, code and do all this cool stuff. But in addition, he has this email infrastructure startup. So I'm thinking, who better to talk to about all the different email clients that we have? This is a live stream, so this is your opportunity to join in and ask some questions. We're going to just compare a lot of different things. He's also built this side project called inbound.new with email or .email. Yeah,
inbound.new, yeah.
Yeah, inbound.new that I also want to check out. I'm super curious. This is not a sponsored stream. This is literally my friend Ryan on the internet that I met through X, and we're just going to hang out together and talk about this. Because he, owns the software, whatever he's doing, he can also, give us some things. I said, hey, if we try your stuff, can we also do something for the community as well to just try things out? And we're going to go into those types of details. We're going to do some comparisons. We're also going to hang out and chit chat about keyboards and stuff because we both have the same keyboards and totally nerd out. So this come over, hang out. This may be an hour or so, and maybe longer depending on what's going on in the chat. So definitely welcome Ryan to the show.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I think we're going to have a good time because there's so much in email and stuff like that. Resend has their launch week this week. This is Inbound. It's my email infrastructure startup that I started it just because I was just I wish there was something that was a little bit more modular. It was open source, and I just kind of created that to fulfill my own need. And it's kind of evolved into this whole email solution. But there's a lot of different ways you can do email, and there's not a lot of clarity on the way that you should set up stuff and the stuff that you need to set up. Oh, do you actually need to go and set up all these different DNS stuff with email? And I think if we have a good old chat with that, I think it'd be a good stream.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I mean, I was looking into solutions like Amazon with SES and trying to go to the really lowest layers of things and get that set up for my domains. And then for me, I'm just spinning up currently a lot of ideas. So right now I'm basically working with this app called Anime Leak, like I was saying earlier. But I've recently found out, because my friends who have schnauzers, this one lady posted it in her Facebook group. Now all these people are pinging me about all these features they want for their schnauzers. And I'm like, this was originally meant for anything. I had no clue what this was going to be doing, but it's I want to animate different things. And so people are doing really cool stuff, and I want to add features and then let these groups of people know that, hey, I've released a Halloween thing. Now for Christmas, check it out. And then for Thanksgiving, I have a whole bunch of stuff coming up too. And so that requires sending emails. And I was looking at SendGrid right now, at Resend. And so with Resend, can we talk about the differences between what a transactional email is and a marketing email? Because I didn't really know this at the beginning, and I think this is probably something that people should know right now about what the differences between these two, because there's also different pricing involved as well. Oh, I think you're on mute. Let's see. Can I? Yeah. I don't hear you right now. Are you there? Okay. I think it's still muted. Okay, yeah, one moment. All right, so what he's going to go ahead and do is try to see if he can fix his microphone and see if we can kind of get him back into the chat. So let me just catch up a little bit with the live stream chat and kind of see how everything's going on here. So here we go. Oh, that's right. People are kind of joining in. We start a little bit later, so I would definitely appreciate that. Right now in Hawaii, it's actually 8:42 in the morning. Ryan, if you have any problems, you're also welcome to kind of come back in and out of the stream, and then it'll actually rejoin automatically, which is really nice. So that'd be easier for you. Okay, you're good. Yeah, I hear you.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So marketing and transactional emails are a little bit different. You can kind of think of it as two ways if you're looking through your inbox. If you see an email that's this week on what do I have in front of me? Like my iPhone. So if Apple were to send you the new iPhone 17 Pro Plus Max just dropped, that's a marketing email. That means that you are a subscriber in this sort of campaign of hundreds of thousands of millions of people, and they send the same email out to everyone. The difference between a transactional email is a transactional email is used for a transaction. So for example, when you go to a website and they have like that magic link to like log in, that sends one email directly to you, and it doesn't go to anybody else, and it's customized for you. It contains that
Oh,
login information.
okay.
So it has a little bit more limits because it's a little bit more of a what would you say, like a variable thing of what you could use it for. But if you go over to the marketing emails,
Hmm.
you can see that it's a little bit more expensive, and it's not really billed by emails sent, but like contacts.
Yeah, that's
So
weird. Okay.
that has to do with your contact list and everything like that. So like if you jump over to my screen, um, I've got Resend up right here, and broadcasts are how they do their marketing emails. Resend is amazing at their marketing emails right now, but it is a little bit expensive if you start to grow a little bit bigger of an audience. And
Mm.
there's other ways that you can kind of do it. Um, but this is kind of, you set up a broadcast, you can kind of create it. Um, let's see if their thing will load. Yeah, and then you can kind of put from, to, and everything like that. And they
Hmm.
got a nice little editor, kind of like Notion-esque. And
I
then you
see.
can build out audiences. So
Mm.
I've got my inbound users. So everybody, I think this is like half of it. Everybody who signs up for inbound basically
Yeah.
gets added to this audience list. And then that way I can easily contact them. But this isn't just for Resend. MailChimp, SendGrid, all these other companies have this ability, but Resend and Inbound and a couple others like USend are really only the companies recently that I've seen that I've wanted to use, just because if you've ever looked at the developer documentation for like SendGrid or MailChimp,
Mm.
I can see a couple of people in the comments have had a rough experience with it. And it is, I empathize with that. Yeah, it is horrible to use their things. Their API isn't good. It's ugh. Whereas inbound and resend and stuff like that, the API to be able to create and send these emails is so much better. And it's so much more evolved for developers, and especially TypeScript developers.
Mm. Yeah, so it's interesting because this person brings up here an issue with cloud providers. If you want to host your own mail server, you have to get permission to open email ports to send and receive. But there was another thing about warming up emails as well. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Because that's something that I was looking into too, and I was like, okay, is this something that I have to figure out if I sign up with your service or any service? Like, how do they do this automatically? And how do we think about these things in the perspective? Because for me, I just want to move on as fast as possible. Like I've literally just, I got customers in the door now. I'm kind of going into a different niche. I might even spin off the branding for my app instead of Anime Leak to like Schnauzer or something fun, right?
Right.
Like very specific now to that audience. And so like that's another email domain. That's another Google Workspace. That's, I'm not setting up these emails is a pain in the ass. So like these are ideas I'm just trying to move really fast with. And how
Right.
should I think about these things? Yeah.
So there's a couple different points there that are really good. If we want to throw up that comment about the opening email ports, I'm trying to find
Oh yeah, I got it here.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is one way to do it. And that's essentially self-hosted email, where you buy a VPS, like a virtual private server, you install some sort of mail software and mail hosting service onto it, and then you open up the mail ports, and then you can send and receive email from that. Now, traditionally, that was okay and accepted, but now with more of the fraud, spam, and abuse that kind of is around, those emails aren't as trusted because the emails that they're being sent from are like a new IP address, which is attached to that
Mm.
virtual private server. So
Oh.
it isn't as credible, if I understand correctly. How I do it at Inbound and how Recent does it and how a lot of other companies do it is they wrap Amazon SES, and SES has a much better reputation because they have a larger IP pool of IP addresses that are already warmed up. What warming up means is you've sent emails, not in a spam or bulky way, but you've sent emails that are legit and real and haven't gotten bounces or complaints. And that kind of builds your domain and IP address reputation. So whenever you sign up for Inbound or Resend or any other company like that that's built on top of SES, you're getting an already warmed up IP address that's sending it. And then that means that you have better deliverability in your actual application. So you have a better success rate rather than if you were to set up your own mail server. I did that a couple of years ago where I tried to set up a custom mail server on like a VPS.
Yeah.
And first off, it wouldn't let me open the mail port. And then also my emails were always just going to spam and it just wasn't working. So definitely, if you do anything and you want to build your own solution, I would definitely recommend building on top of AWS Simple Email Service, which is what SES means, because it can just help boost your level of deliverability tenfold.
Yeah, so somebody here mentioned SendGrid. Tell us a little bit more about like that service too, because there's like resend, send, like all these different types of things. And have you explored using them and stuff like that as well?
So I have a little bit of experience with SendGrid, so I could be wrong in some of this stuff, but I don't know if SendGrid has the biggest email IP pool. I think that might be challenged by SES via AWS. But SendGrid, it's just very similar like the others. I know that they are mostly focused towards marketing, but they do have a transactional email service API, which I mean, kind of all of these companies do. It just really depends on what type of interface, what type of compliance stuff that your organization needs. Like if you need just a simple email to be able to send out like sign-in links, Resend is perfect for you because all you need to do is just add a domain. You can send it using like their 3 lines of their API, and it just doesn't really need all that complexity. But how you said everyone's kind of got their side projects. The reason I created Inbound is because I was like, I need something that I can just be able to quickly set up for side projects. Like let's say I start a new side project today and it's ryancooks.com, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to add that to Google Workspace or anything like that. I can just go over here. I can add domain ryancooks.com. It will then go through and add everything like that. And then basically after it gets all set up and I add the DNS records, I get an email address just similar to like this. And once this domain is verified, I can come down here and set up a catch-all email address, which basically means that any sort of username that comes to slkb.app, like Ray at slkb.app, Ryan at slkb.app, anything that comes to it, it can be like completely unique. It will auto route to your inbox, which is really, really nice because I have for my personal domain, let's see, where's that? Ryan.ceo, I've got a catch-all set up. So whenever I go to like a store and they're like, hey, do you have your email? Like for example, the other day I was at the Lululemon store. I went and they were like, hey, what's your email? And I don't remember what all of the emails are that I set up, and I want it to be separate so that way they can't spam me and sell my information to other people. And I just gave them Lululemon at ryan.ceo, and every single time I get I bet you we can search it too.
That's hilarious. That's super convenient because that's my pain in the butt with the Google Workspace right now is I have to literally create all these emails like as aliases and stuff just to get them.
Yeah, and exactly. And the best part too is like you don't even have to be on a paid plan for this because I'm not trying to like become this next like big monopoly thing. It's just I want to be able to quickly set up. And obviously if you have a lot of domains then you can upgrade. But if you just have like your own personal site and you don't want to pay for the Google Workspace or anything like that, you can just set up the domain, set up a catch-all, and everything just kind of routes for you and you don't even have to think about it. But then for all you developers out there, because I know you're already thinking, you're like, well, what if instead of forwarding it to like an email address, we could forward it to like a webhook? Well, I am already one step ahead of you. And let's see if we can
let me see this. So emails that come in through inbound.new can come through a webhook, and then you can cook with a webhook.
Exactly. So we'll do a live demo with the audience. All right, let's find a good email address right here.
Looks like somebody wants a comparison for this and SendGrid. So that'd be a really good comparison in the future after this.
Yeah. While I'm getting this set up. So It's basically I don't know about SendGrid pricing. Here, Ray, while I'm setting this up, if you're able to look up the SendGrid pricing, that'd be great, because I'd love to see where we land on that.
Yeah.
Let's go to endpoints.
Grid pricing. Pricing and plans. So yeah, they have email API and they have marketing campaigns. So probably marketing campaigns because you can send automations and stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple of ones. So on my side, we can see the email, the API just like integrated to just like the way Resend does, and $0 for 60 days. And then you can only send 100 emails a day, which is kind of my limitation because I have more than 100 users for just sending basic API, like, hey, you've signed up type of thing. And then the essentials is, $20 a month for 50,000 to 100,000 emails. And then Pro is $89. This is just regular transactional stuff. And then the marketing campaigns, which is everyone does it per contacts. How many emails would you like to send per month? So if you have 100 contacts for 100 emails a day, it's free. So that's not me right now because I already have 150 plus users. And so the basic one is $15 a month for 100,000 contacts up to 300,000 emails a month. And that's testing credits of 10 for the emails, sign up forms 5. And then, okay. So that includes design and code editors, segmentation, A/B testing, actionable insights, full feature breakdown. What's email testing mean? Oh, run spam tests? I guess so. Automation. Automation is X out. So send automated emails or time-based script using triggers that you have in place. That's only available at the advanced $60 a month. So that's not for the 15. Link tracking and all the other stuff, engagements. I guess they have some stuff here. Bounce rate reporting, deliverability. And dedicated IP is not included. And additional access to additional IPs is not included in the 15. You have to pay $60 a month for that. Interesting. And then what else? Account and team management. Sub-user management is not included. And you can only have one teammate. 1,000 teammates with advanced. Okay. Interesting. Sub-user API. Segment connector. Wow. Quite a bit of stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like where you have one thing that basically trumps every other sort of offering or like service out there. There's so many different services and stuff like that. There's mine, there's Recent and everything like that. And you don't have to use mine. That's not what I'm trying to do here.
Right.
I provide certain things that other companies don't, and other companies provide things that I don't. And it all just kind of it just depends on what you want. Like if you want to build like AI agents that are able to send and receive emails and stuff like that, Inbound is probably a great option for you because we'll demo some of that cool stuff later.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so here we'll do this live demo right here. Yeah. So everyone, if you are watching this and you've got an email client open, shoot an email to live@sqlmail.dev. Can be anything. Anything. Make it appropriate, but it can be anything.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
And we will give a live demo that can. I'll give it about 30 seconds for you to be able to do that. Live at sqlmail.dev.
Oh, sqlmail.dev. YOLO. Let me cook. Live at sqlmail.dev. Okay, I've sent it across. Hopefully it comes across.
Cool.
But also like the mail app from Apple has like a delay to send the email, like just in case you want to undo it.
That is, I was talking to Zeno, the founder of Resend, the other day because they recently just started their inbound API. And he was like, yeah, it absolutely kills you on demos because it just takes like 10 to 20 seconds to be able to receive anything. So yeah, we'll wait for those to come in. All right, so it looks like we got, so there you go. We got Ray's email, and this is a full webhook. So we got the text body was let me cook, and then your signature. And then looks like we got something else that somebody forwarded or something like that. but you get like a full webhook that you're able to just use and access and then forward and everything like that. And here's what the cool part is. So let's say we go back here and we'll find Ray's email really quick. Let's see. We'll grab this. We'll grab the record ID. And then we'll go over to Postman and we'll paste in that that email ID right there. And chat, what should we reply to Ray with? What should we say in our response? Somebody give me a good response and a good reply that I can give to tell
here's
to Ray.
A coupon for $1 for the first month.
Yeah. Thank you for recommending me Droid. There we go. So watch. Yeah. So then I'm going to send this. And then, Ray, if you check your email right now on your phone, you should see that email that I just sent as a reply. Let's see if that works.
Let's see. Loading. Let's see. Dude, yeah. Here we go.
And there you go.
I don't know if you can
You
get see
that email fully added as a reply, and everything just kind of works.
That's pretty cool. So this is
basically
like the API. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. It's like the API, and you can connect this into like Next.js apps, and you get a fully type-safe webhook. So like this is the webhook payload right here. You get all of this information, and then you can throw that directly into an AI agent or anything, and it just kind of works. Wow. You've got a very simple reply API, and yeah, that's kind of like the little spiel on inbound. But we'll take this a step further with a live demo. I'm launching a new product called Slackbound. And basically it takes inbound and builds a layer above it. Wow. So if we pull up Slack here, let's see.
The next one we want to do a comparison is against Cloudflare new email product beta. That'd be interesting.
I do have stuff to say about that. That's an interesting one.
That's really good.
Let's send a test email. Hello from live stream. So, for example, it's like we sent another email, and then we'll wait in Slack right here while this is going. And while we wait for that,
do you have some sort of implementation for WordPress contact forms? Because that's another thing too. People are setting up WordPress, and usually it's kind of click.
Yeah. So inbound is like any other API. So if you have a way for once a WordPress contact form has been submitted, so like on that WordPress form being submitted and I guess like on completion, if you're able to hit an API, you can add an inbound API for that functionality, and it will just work.
Wow.
And it will send them an email, and that email can be your own unique email. And yeah, so it's really cool.
What if you self-host this and then provide that as a service for people so they don't have to set up their own server for that? I guess you have a couple of everything. Yeah. Depending on demand, right?
That's something that is coming, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different things. Slackbound's in beta, so I'm testing it out right now. But there's so many different things that you can kind of do and test out. So like right here, I think it might have gone to another channel.
Thank you for recommending me, Droid. This is hilarious. Actually true. This is great.
But yeah, so it's like Cloudflare. Let's look up a Cloudflare email service.
Ooh.
Let's see. Let's scroll back all of the other stuff. Yeah, so Cloudflare has a very similar thing in context to resend and inbound and all that other stuff. You can use React email, which allows you to write and send emails inside of React.
Yeah.
And then you can create an email handler to process emails that are like inbound and everything like that. And then I think, do they have a reply functionality yet? Let's see if they do. I don't think they have a reply functionality yet. But you can parse it via inbound and everything like that. And I saw someone in the chat that was like, hey, well, Cloudflare has catch-all email routing. And that's true. They do. But if I recall from last time I checked, which was about a month ago, they only allow you to add your domain if that domain is on Cloudflare. So like, let's say you bought it on
Oh
Vercel or
no.
Ionos or something like that,
Yes.
you can't use it. So you would have to like either transfer it or update the name servers or something like that. So it's just more of a headache to kind of get it set up, which is why like Resend or Inbound is a better option for something like that.
That's
And
interesting. Yeah, let's
yeah,
compare because
it's kind of
somebody
cool.
had questions on like the pricing maybe, and then like also maybe how does that look like against SendGrid? SendGrid, Inbound, and I guess we'll
Let's
maybe
see.
kind of approach it into different personalities. So like my persona for me is like I'm an app developer. I really want to quickly send these. I guess it's a marketing email technically, but it's like, hey, I have a new feature for my app. Go ahead and try it out, or I have a new whatever it is. So I want to send it to at least 200 users. And usually that threshold's over 100, right? And so, what would that look like maybe in these services, and then what should I be aware of as my app scales up? That maybe some things I'm not considering. Yeah.
So if you have, let's pull up recent pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have less than 1,000 contacts and you only have one contact base, like let's say you only have your single service right there and there's less than 1,000 people in it, Resend is a great option because you can get the single audience where you can add people in and basically send those emails in like that nice type of form. And you get 3,000 emails a month, which means you could send out hypothetically 3 different newsletters or updates and stuff like that to your audience list per month with that for free, completely for free. There is a way to do it in Inbound, and you can similarly do it, but we don't have natively the nice editor that Resend does. We do have, and this will be dropping soon, a open source version of the Resend like tip tap editor. So like similar to like this, you can do like a H1 and be like, hello. Let me hide that. Let me turn on do not disturb. Thought I had that on. Anyways, you can type in like markdown stuff and be like, hello chat, and kind of have all the different things that you would want. You can have like a quote and be like, this was cooked, and then be like, Ray, and everything like that. And this will be open source. And then you can send it with Inbound, you can send it with Resend, you can send it with anybody, and it just all kind of works. So, but yeah, but if you just have like a very simple audience where it's like like 600 or 700 people, and you only need to send out a couple emails per month, Resend is a great option. Now, if you're building with like AI agents and stuff like that, and you want to be able to receive emails, have the agents process stuff, and then have the agents reply, I personally would recommend Inbound because you can receive the emails and then you can have your agents reply to those emails using the simple API. And then you can have your agents schedule emails and everything like that. And it just all kind of works.
Yeah, let's go into the details of the API because Coriolis is asking more about the API, like what it isn't capable of and like is capable of kind of comparisons, because that's a really interesting thing too.
Yeah. So we'll just do absolute free tier of everything so that way we can kind of do an equal comparison. Free tier of Inbound, you can send, schedule, reply, and receive emails. Everything just kind of works. You just have to have a domain set up inside of Inbound. What's also really nice is you can get access to the Threads API. If you're not familiar with what the Threads API is, think of like Gmail like this. Each one of these emails that are compounded is a thread. So if we go back to email flow, and then see right here. So Ray sent an email to live@sqlmail.dev. And then I replied to that email in the thread. Now, this is a threaded conversation. So I can click on his and then I can click on mine, which means that it's very similar to essentially this. So if you really wanted to, you could build your own custom email service like Gmail on top of Inbound and have all sort of custom codes and stuff like that. And I'll give a little sneak preview. I'm not sure if he wants me to, but OrcDev wants is working on something to create a custom email client that essentially you can plug in your inbound API key and have like a Gmail like experience, and basically be able to, for free, get your own like Google Workspace kind of email setup.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because like one of the apps I use is called Beehive for emails. So like they just gave me a basic form, and then that's what I linked up, and it hooks up to rayfernando.ai. But I want to transition away from it because my audience is growing and there's all these people who've signed up for my email list. And then, managing all that stuff is just kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah, that's what's up. Also, super chat from Coriolis. He says, thank you for the super chat, by the way. It says triggers, question mark.
So for triggers, I would assume you mean like webhooks, and that is the core part of inbound. So inside of inbound, you can add an endpoint. There can be 3 types of endpoints. You can have a webhook, which is an HTTP request to your application. You can have an email forward, which is like, let's say you just want to be able to add that catch-all I was talking about. You could just have that email forward to like personal@gmail.com or whatever your personal Gmail is, essentially like a proxy. So that way you can give out that obfuscated catch-all email address, but it all comes to your inbound, your personal email address. And then, like we were showing before with the webhook.site, all of these are these triggers. So it would be able to see that it's like this came in at what time? Let's see. Came in 13 minutes ago at 1:56 p.m., right? And that would trigger something in your app. And then you could have an agent update the database, or an agent reply, or something like that. And you would be able to have these webhook triggers to kind of work through everything. And Recent, for fairness, Recent has, let's see. Recent does have receiving, but it doesn't give you access to the text HTML and raw email directly in the webhook. So it's a little bit more trivial, because you've got to receive the email from the webhook. You've got to then go grab the email. And then if you want to reply, there's no simple like inbound.reply or resend.reply functionality. You've kind of got to send an email, but then add some custom headers. And they don't have threading that I'm aware of. You've got to kind of keep track of all of that stuff yourself. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we should check out this other question here is like about email tracking, because that's another thing I use Beehive for. It's like how many people have opened the emails, and then how many people have, like if I send a link, I can tell how many people have clicked a certain link and stuff like that in Beehive, which is different. Like it's kind of like MailChimp and these other places and stuff like that, but they're so expensive. Once you get a certain threshold of customers, it's just hard to maintain. Is that something that Inbound offers as well, or just kind of curious? Yeah.
Yeah, so Inbound does offer that. We're actually going to be, I was talking about that before, where basically it can show if an email has been opened or not. But then it will also soon be able to support Dub. If you're not familiar with what Dub is a link tracking tool. So let's say someone opens your email, you get that event, but then let's say they click on something in the email. You will be able to see what they clicked on in the email, and then that can be tracked via Dub. So that way you can see like, okay, they opened the email, then they clicked this, and then you can kind of continue on the user flow. So for more complex stuff, I know we got some stuff coming down the pipeline on that, but for just the basic stuff, Inbound does support it. And then I saw somebody.
So like I think you said email alias or something like that. So that's kind of like something about what you were saying earlier. But yeah, talk more about that.
Yeah. So for example, we'll jump back over to the Ryan.ceo. So think of it kind of as like a waterfall, right? So an email comes in at the top of the funnel. And when it comes in at the top of the funnel, it checks to see if there's any email aliases. Like these email aliases is like early access at Ryan.ceo, or I could add like rayfern live at Ryan.ceo. And when the email comes in, it would see, okay, does it match any of these email aliases? And if it does, then it would route it to that. But if it doesn't, then it would be caught by the catch-all, and then route to your personal email address. So that way you could kind of combine and mix and match all this stuff.
Or you can say, send a Slack webhook. Let's take a look at those configurations real quick. Because you could do a whole bunch of stuff,
Exactly.
right? Store and inbound. Let's see what other things we do.
Yep. So we'll add, just click here. So yeah, you can add a Discord webhook, a Slack webhook.
Discord.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, if you click that,
epic,
you would just get a Discord webhook that you could basically go to any sort of channel, and any inbound email would just pop up as a Discord webhook and just be properly formatted and everything.
Bro, how about attachments? Like if somebody emails you a PDF or something, like can you grab that as well?
Yeah. So what happens with attachments is, I don't think I have an example of it.
Because I was thinking about sending receipts, bro. I'm like thinking about way different flows, bro. Like I got a whole other.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I want to automate my accounting. I just take a picture, send it to expense at Ray Fernando or something, and then
and that's perfect, because you can take a picture and send it, or you could even just forward an email. And let's say that email had like a PDF attachment or something like that, and you'd be able to grab all of that information via this attachments thing. So every single PDF or anything like that would be available for download, and then you could plug it into like an OCR or something like that, and process it.
What was the other thing about like you were doing about a prompt or something like that? You're showing me something with some prompt somewhere. Was it filtering with prompting, or when you had like a...
Yes. So, quick story time. So I was a speaker at a conference, and one of the CEOs of that company posted something online that wasn't very popular, and essentially me and all of the other speakers kind of got DOSed, and our personal email addresses got leaked. So my email address, ryan@inbound.new, got leaked. And if we look over at email flow for the past 30 days, you'll be able to see that there is a very, very big differentiator here. So it's like, okay, we got 62 inbound, 50 inbound, 92 inbound. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, 1,300 inbound. What in the world? And then the next day, 1,500 inbound. What happened was they had set up an automated AI spam service to essentially spam the inbox with tons and tons and tons of emails, basically just being like, hey, please not enroll or anything like that into the thing or whatnot.
Right.
And what happened was I was like, there's got to be a better way for me to be able to vet this stuff and filter it. So that's when I created Inbound Guard. So I'm sure everyone in chat is familiar with how Gmail filtering and rules are set up. You can create a rule, and then you can have it so that way if like subject contains, or if it's from an email address, or if it has an attachment, or if the email body contains something. But what if you don't know what the email body is going to contain or what the subject is going to be, but you know like a general vibe? Like you don't know that someone requesting money is always going to say invoice. But what if you could just tell an AI, hey, if they're requesting payment, please forward it to this endpoint or something like that? But you can do that with Guard. So this is the explicit rule, kind of like Gmail filtering, but you can also set an AI prompt. So be like, if the email is a
connection from LinkedIn. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah. If the email is a connection from LinkedIn or a connection
automatically
request,
trash. I hate LinkedIn spam, bro. Like it's
trigger the rule. And then that trigger could be a allow, a block, or a route. So like, let's say you wanted all of your LinkedIn requests just to be routed to another webhook to have like a fun site and be like, here's what somebody requested me today. You could then just choose that endpoint that you created and it would just work. And to this day, it has blocked on my personal account over 1,000 inbound emails, and it hasn't even like triggered. We can actually go over to email flow, and if we click under filters, guard blocked, we can see that all the red is the blocked emails, and it just goes on and on and on, and it's just auto blocked. It never even touched my personal inbox. So it is
that's nice,
pretty crazy. And you don't even get charged extra for the AI usage or anything like that.
That's crazy
So
too.
it's kind of like that safeguard for you right there. That's probably one of my most proud features that I'm just genuinely proud of, because I was out there doing this and I was like, man, I'm getting spammed. I need to push this feature out. And I pushed it out in like a day and a half, and it was
That's
crazy.
amazing. Holy smokes, man. Yeah, that's really cool. Doing this product demo type of stuff. I do like hearing about these things. Shout out to Scott as well, 808 fam out there here in Hawaii. I like Coriolis. I am balls deep into SendGrid, and to be fair, super interested in exploring this. Yeah, man. Well, I mean, that's my journey right now. It's like I have this app, I just signed up for Inbound. For those who are curious, this is not like a sponsored stream. It's just my friend Ryan.
Nope.
I've seen him on X. I've seen him, like, I literally reached out to him because like I have this problem right now. I'm trying to get this set up. I'm trying to really understand what Inbound does. How different is this from Resend? How different is this from a bunch of other providers? And I just want to like just take a look at this space. And since this is a live stream, I love everyone's questions streaming in, because we're just answering them live. And I'm pretty sure, just like you and me, I was confused, like transactional email versus marketing email. I had no clue. And then why are they charging me different, right? Can I get away with turning a marketing email to a transactional email, and like why, right? And for me, like,
And there's also a thing where it's like you don't have to use just one service. Like I personally, you saw I had Resend. I use Resend for my audiences and stuff like that. Like right now, the marketing emails and campaigns and the marketing stuff inside of Inbound isn't that built out, because that hasn't been my priority. I love and use Resend for that marketing stuff all the time. Will that change in the future? Maybe. If it's like highly requested or something like that, where people are like, hey, I want free contacts or free audiences and everything like that. And it's just like, it's a personal thing. But I will say, if you do, I've seen a couple of comments of like, you just earned yourself a customer. That's good. But if you have a feature request, I iterate extremely quickly on those. There's a little feedback button down here
I'll
in
show your screen now.
the Inbound thing.
Send feedback on
and
the
it
bottom
opens
left.
up. Yep. Down here, it says send feedback. And if you click this, if you write anything saying, hey, I really wish it could do this special thing, that fix or feature will probably be implemented within like a day or two if it's relatively simple. Maybe 4 days tops for a more complex feature. But I love feedback, and I just want to make it a community tool. And the pricing, if we go over the pricing, I think we are the cheapest out of everybody. It's $15 a month for 50,000 emails sent and received, 50 domains, everything like that.
That's crazy.
And it's basically just to cover the cost of SES and some server costs, because I'm just trying to provide a good product for everybody. And there's a little thing. If I go right here, that QR code, it will get you the first month of Pro for $1. And try it out. That's a great thing to just try it out and check it out with. And I think you'll really like it. And if you don't like it, tell me so I can make it even better for everyone.
You can still try it for free. 5,000 emails with 2 domains, by the way, not 1 domain. Like
5,000 emails is more than enough. There's no obligation to upgrade to anything. You get access to Guard with Pro. That's how I'm able to basically have no extra AI costs or anything like that. So, Renovant Pulse, I'll get to you in a second, local encoded. So can I keep Google Workspace for the primary business email address and use Inbound for more addresses, transactional, and marketing email? Yes and no. So this was a fun little thing that I was able to find out and learn. When you set up an email with Google Workspace, it basically takes control of that level of domain. So let's say you have a domain pulse.com. If you set up Google Workspace with pulse.com, all of the messages sent and received from pulse.com are basically controlled by Google. But if you set up like i.pulse.com or mail.pulse.com, you can send and receive from that perfectly fine. So like, let's say you have Google for your primary business address, but then let's say you want to use Inbound for transactional or sending or receiving, you can set up like mail.pulse.com and it just works just fine. And users don't even see that extra subdomain added. They all they care about is a good subject and a good email. So yeah, try it out.
Beehive recommends this when I sign up for Beehive. They say make a subdomain for your newsletters so that everything gets sent out from your newsletter via mail.yourdomain.com. And then
Exactly.
the reply to what they have in the reply to is my personal email, whatever the personal email is from that domain. So like ray@thatdomain.com or something like that. Okay, so that makes sense. So that's like a little bit of the nuance that maybe people should be aware about. And so technically that can be supported here too, right? So like if I wanted to transact with my customers, so I would just do like announce or, mail at, animeleak.com. So then I would send from that subdomain, and then I could still, if I wanted to actually send emails, and have like some support stuff, like to pay for like one Google mail address and interact with that. Yeah, because right now in the MVP stage, I'm iterating fast. Like Anime Leak may just turn into like Schnauzer, leak or Schnauzer image or something like that. Because like these people in this Facebook group are all of a sudden super like dedicated and just using my app like crazy. And so it's like,
right.
I invested this money in this domain. It didn't cost me much, but now it's like pivoting super fast. Huh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if you have any sort of like new subdomain or a new project idea or something like that, you don't want to go and set up a new Google Workspace, and adding a domain to Google Workspace is just a pain. And it's like if you can just add it to inbound and just have it auto forward to your thing, it just makes it easier.
That's
so
cool.
Two more questions I saw come in with chat. We'll get to Core Alice in just a second. Okay. So Loke Encoded said, when are you coming out with the SMS integration?
Ooh.
Stay tuned.
No way, bro. I want this for my community because people want the live streams and YouTube does not notify them. And people have been wanting to sign up via SMS just to figure out when I go live.
Yes, there's stuff coming for SMS. There's stuff coming for iMessage as well.
Oh,
so like blue text messages.
Blue.
So those are in early explanation right now.
Bro, that's gold.
So if you want to be able to get access to that, I would sign up now so that way you can be earlier on the list.
Hey, wow.
Because that's been requested, because having to do that with like Twilio or anything else like that, it's just such a pain.
You can't play around here, bro. We got some developers. When you got crack developers like Ryan, bro, this guy ships. Don't be playing around and be like, I want blue messages. I got messages. We got WhatsApp. All of a sudden we have like, seriously, bro, he fades.
That's awesome. I love that.
Everyone's loving this AI prompt. I wish I had this for M365 as well.
So that brings me into another point. You're like, oh man, I wish I could just look at the source code and be able to see like how everything works. Well, look no further than get.new/inbound. Inbound is completely open source.
Bruh.
Completely. 100%. Everything is open source except for the SES infrastructure. That's kind of hard to open source, but it exists in there if you want to replicate it for yourself.
Wow.
But yeah, if you want to be able to look at how Guard is implemented, you can go in and dig into the code base.
Get.new/inbound, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coriolis says, no way, bro. Yeah, everyone's flipping out right now.
Here's the best part. All of the other email platforms that we've talked about today are not open source.
Right.
So if you run into an issue, you can't go to the repo and find that issue and make a pull request. I've had people literally close the loop. I know it does feel like an infomercial, but I swear it's not. I just am thinking of other things to.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Just when you think it was not email, there's Slack involved.
If you call right now, we'll double your offer and give you 2 inbounds instead of 1.
Yeah.
And
we'll throw in a knob keyboard for $500. The whole total package here is $10,000. We're going to give that to you for $1. Like, it's like,
oh man, that's too
low
funny.
key. No, bro, you're blowing my mind right now. Okay, like, oh yeah. I mean, I came for the email questions, and I'm leaving with like a pot of gold, bro. Damn.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
if you haven't, what's your email handle on X? People need to figure out what your email. I'll punch you into so you can punch in your email handle here, so that on X to follow you.
Let's see. All right, we'll go over to X.
Ryan. I mean, there's a reason why he's a DevRel, and these people want him to, like, we're not even talking about Databricks and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, no, I could do a whole other stream on Neon and how everything like that. Yes, I do accept PRs on the repo. That is one thing I was going to say. It's like, if you're working on something and you're like, man, I wish this would just return this, make a PR for it. I review those, I look into those, and I make sure that it kind of works. And that's why I love this, where it's like, you can, if you run into an issue and you're like, hey, I don't know why this isn't responding correctly, you can look into the issue on the repository and be like, oh, it's not responding because of this. And then you can cross-reference that. So that's why it's like, you can't do that with Resend or with SendGrid or stuff like that. Imagine if you could open a PR on SendGrid. They would never allow that. So yeah, follow me on X at Ryan Vogel. Check out inbound.new. And that's the one thing. It's like, if you have a feature, kind of like what I was saying with the SMS or the iMessage, just send it in the feedback form. I'd be more than happy to look into it to see if we can integrate it easily. And if it's something that we can ship for you, that's like my goal, because I want to make email more accessible for everyone.
Yeah, man. This guy ships. That's my new saying, like, these guys ship.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's incredible. So yeah, okay. So as far as like getting started, it should be pretty straightforward. Yeah. Most providers block port 25. I think they're talking about like setting it up in the VPS. And then this guy droids.
Oh, let me show one other thing. I feel like this might be cool. Let me see if I can show the onboarding. Let me see. All right. So this is the onboarding. This is the official onboarding for Inbound. So when you create a new account, you've got to try. Okay. If you don't set up Inbound and don't pay for it or anything like that, that's fine. Just go to inbound.new and sign up just so you can experience this onboarding. Because watch. So you'll create an API key. Mm-hmm. Great. You created the API key. Now you can send an email. So we'll click send the email. And this basically gives you the exact code that you would use in your project. Wow. So then you click send email, and then it actually sends an email. And I've already done it for this demo. But if you go to that email that you received from Inbound and reply to it with whatever your favorite email provider is, like it says, I think it asks like, what's your email provider that's your favorite or whatever. Mm. And you reply to it, it will then show that reply in the onboarding. So right here, I said, my favorite is Mail0. Mm-hmm. It does that live. Just try it out. If you don't believe me, try it out. It's super cool. It's a definitely underrated thing for the onboarding experience. Wow. But it just kind of gives the full product suite demo of Inbound right there. And then you can continue to dashboard and then start adding a domain. But cool. I think that's all I can chill for now. But
we got a super chat.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Coriolis says, damn, 20 pounds, bro. Like, this guy's heavy. Dude is cooking with Droid. Only thing that makes sense is I have huge plans for this. So yeah, man, Ryan has good API specs and those docs are written beautifully. You can just hand those off to an AI agent. They're going to have a good time digging through the thing. Yep. The second part of it is you have the Inbound repo. So like, I guess the AI agent, like I use Exa code. I've been telling Coriolis a lot about this, and he's been using this and he says like it's magical. So Exa scrapes everything like Discords and GitHub repos, and they give the right context to the agent at the right time. So then in your repo, they can just go through and implement these super fast, right? Like with your documentation and everything. Holy smokes. Yeah, because the possibilities are infinite from here, because now you have a webhook. You can do whatever you want.
It's got a webhook, you can trigger agents.
Virus scanning or something like that. Anything?
Yeah. So when an email, let me find a test email to kind of look at right here. Okay.
Ryan is making email great again.
That's my goal. I want to make email as easy as possible for everyone. So, for example, like we saw in that webhook earlier, you get the HTML, this is like the nicely formatted. You get the text, like the raw text, and then you also get the raw of the email. Nice. Now, this is really, really helpful, and this is what gets passed to Guard for the AI analysis, because it can check and it can see there's no sort of way that a link or anything like that could be obfuscated here because, like, for example, do we have a link in here somewhere? Let me find an email with a proper link.
Yeah. What about migration to inbound from other providers to import existing data?
That is a little bit of a process right now because you would have to migrate the DNS stuff. However, if you are interested in doing that, just sign up for an account and send me the feedback, and I'd be more than happy to hook you up with a script that is kind of fine-tuned for your use case because it's really easy. You've just kind of got to get everything aligned for it to get it set up. So, like, for example, this is an email from Slack right here. And this is you can see right here, the content type plain text. But then if we go down here to the HTML, where we've got content type text HTML, and we look at some of the links that it's kind of encoded with. Oh,
wow.
The AI, see, like right here, it's got a hyperlink. The AI would be able to see if this is like a malicious link. Like, let's say it said it was from Slack, but then it was able to see right here that this said like SIAK instead of SLAK.
Right. Yeah.
It would be able to sort of figure that out and see this entire raw email. And that's even with the attachments and everything else that it would kind of be able to look into that with. Saw another comment that said for data retention configuration, on the pricing, we've got 7 days of data retention on free, 30 days on pro, 45 on growth, and 60 days, 2 whole months on scale, which should be more than anything that you need. And here's the best part. We'll do the neon plug too. Let's say you get that webhook in. That webhook is a standard object. You could just create a database using Neon or any other database provider you have to store that data. And you wouldn't even need inbounds retention policies. You would be able to fully operate as long as you keep that data in a secure configuration. You'd be able to still fully work with that, and it would just all work.
So you're saying webhook comes in, it gets pushed there, you forget about it later on. Then you can basically write code or SQL queries to do extractions or analysis or anything you ever want, because now you own the actual data. So it goes through, and then as a webhook, you can just say, now, also hit this thing. So the webhook can hit like several endpoints and send, do multiple routing, like you said, right? Wow.
Yeah. And it's it's not where it's like Gmail, where it's like you can access your emails through Gmail. No, that webhook comes to you, and there is no other sort of thing where it's like you've got to pull it that inbound has that you don't have. When that webhook comes in, you get the entire email. And you can check the code too on the repository. You can see that when it comes in, it parses the raw email and it sends that all the way to the webhook, and you've got everything. I think if there was one thing that you wouldn't have, it might be like the Lambda function name that like processed it in AWS, but that wouldn't even be helpful for you. All of the email information, like we can look back at the webhook site.
Even like attachments and stuff too?
Yeah. All of that is in the raw. You get all of the headers. You've got all of the DKIM signatures and cleaned content and everything like that.
And so if I have like this guard set up so that I don't want to maybe store that because it could be spam, you can also say that don't write it to my database because I don't want my database to get filled up with these spam emails.
Yeah, well, that's the best part. So if
crazy.
If you have guard configured, it won't even hit the endpoint. It won't even hit the webhook. So it's not even where you have to decide something. Guard just takes that action, doesn't even have, you can let it hit your stuff, but have like a flag.
Yes.
But if you don't even want to deal with it and you just want to eliminate all spam, that's how you can kind of configure guard.
That's amazing. So I leave it up to you and your infrastructure to handle that. And then my infrastructure could just deal with receiving the data, processing it. And so you provide a nice interface for that already on top of everything else, which makes it a little bit more easier to manage. And you can do that for free, right? Basically, it sounds like you have the free account that comes with it. It's not like you have to pay extra for that. I like this comment here. It says, SMS will be sold out, bro. I mean, it will be, bro. At this level of detail that this guy is cooking right now, and like the fast response stuff, I'm hyper. I'm so hype about it.
Yeah. I like
this mega
goal,
thing.
It's just like,
bro, you're so mega, right? You should add that as a tag, like on your X account, mega.
Love that.
Gonna fix my Microsoft crap email. People are going through your cursor. into your repo and they see the cursor rules.
The repo, I use AI tools a ton, and I have all of the cursor rules. There's commands, there's plans, there's rules, and it's super, super detailed to the tech stack. So you could literally go in there with any AI agent, Droid or Claude Code or Cursor, and it just kind of works. You don't even have to worry about any of that. So yeah, if you go to the cursor, you can see that under cursor rules, there's a ton of cursor rules on fetching and everything like that. Yeah.
Whoa. So you load the repo up, you can start like adding features if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah. You might not be able to do the full run locally due to some of the stuff that it's set up, but you could, if you're working with an AI agent and you're working on like maybe a small fix of like a parsing issue or something like that, you would very easily be able to kind of get that deployed and working. Wow. So 100% is possible. Whoa. But yeah.
Wow. This repo needs more stars. Yeah, that's cool. No, I mean, I'm so glad. I want to also bring it to the audience. I love these questions. Keep them streaming in, because have you tried any email service provider? If you're tuning in right now, you know, what is one that you've liked? What is one you don't like? What other things you want us to compare? We can compare this live. We have Ryan here right now, and he's with us. You know, we're taking a look at Cloudflare and what they offer. We were taking a look a little bit at, Resend as well. I think we were taking a look at the pricing for SendGrid as well, and these are different providers and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Also, Coriolis says kudos on building in public. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I think was it data retention configuration? I think this person was more for GDPR compliance. For inbound,
we don't have that currently. That is planned. I'm working on just basically building out the core infrastructure. If you have something that requires that, definitely recommend going to Resend or SendGrid or something like that. Because I don't want to have you bank your entire like idea or something like that on something that isn't GDPR. I would much rather you wait a couple of months or something like that to come to us when we're fully secure, fully GDPR compliant. Not to say that we're not secure.
When he says us, he means himself, because he's a solo dev working on this. His full-time job is, working as a developer relations person at Databricks, right? Amongst a lot of hats that you wear, right?
I know, right? Well, I'm the primary dev on it, but I also have a couple independent security researchers that review the code and stuff like that every now and then. So it's not like I'm just pushing absolutely pure AI generated code out there. There have been a couple independent security audits that have just kind of been like, hey, code's good, secure. It's not like any major leak or anything like that's going to happen. So you can have confidence knowing that, but GDPR, ISO, SOC 2, and all that other stuff is on the pipeline, but those are expensive, and I'm just trying to provide the most value as of right now.
Yeah, for me as a solo builder, I'm just looking to kind of quickly get bootstrapped. The other part of it is, can I hook this into AI agents, right? And that's kind of the other thing. It's like there is documentation there is a website, and this is easily configurable once you get the API keys configured, and then being able to kind of route all the different things. I think is really cool. I'm thinking about an onboarding candidate. Thinking about a candidate on onboarding app that passes docs and puts them to CRM using webhook stuff based on the user's email. I don't see why not.
Yeah, and you can do that. You would be able to just set up a webhook, and it would be able to let an AI agent essentially read through and parse the email, and then it would be able to generate structured data from that, which then would be put into a CRM of your choice.
That's crazy, bro. That's actually really, really cool. So yeah, I'm excited to get this started for like Anime League. I think this is gonna be really good. But then for this new idea, I'm just gonna buy whatever Schnauzer Lover domain or something like that. And because it's really interesting how these products evolve, right? Like I start with this one idea, upload your images, and I'll basically have some like animation stuff leak into it, to then having some actually dedicated people who try it out, and then it's just like, well, if the riches are in the niches, you might as well just go into the niche, right? Like super deep, and just kind of, I could still keep this main app up for, like the just general anime for different things. But then just kind of have this other thing available so that like, because this is like my friends, right? Like it's kind of cool what you can do with the new Nano Banana thing. But I think
Right.
another thing is makes it fun is like Christmas time. People are going to be sharing. While people get physical cards, this is more playful, and you can kind of do some cool stuff during different theme holidays or like Thanksgiving or different events. So I'll be able to kind of pop them in. So like it's the same images, but people can retransform them. And I think, I don't know like what this will look like, but I'm just kind of following my gut. And the biggest pain in the butt I had was just trying to set up different email addresses for all my different domains, especially like this one I just spun up, right? I'm going to spin up the Schnauzer one. I'm going to spin up some more ideas and, trying to do this. And I think Ryan's really cool because, he's just a developer, a good friend of mine I met on X, yet to meet in person. So we're going to meet in person sometime soon, hopefully. And I was like, yeah, take me through all this stuff. And it's been really cool to answer all these different questions that everyone's had here on stream. For those who are interested, I guess let's just kind of sort of plug this in some funny way. But like, if people want to take a look at Ryan's inbound thing, the link below will get you to inbound.new. But to get the free month, you can do free $1 for the first month. You just put in the code RayCooks, so RAYCOOKS, and then once you do the Stripe link, just put that in the Stripe coupon code. And then you'll get that $1 for that first month, which you can try at Pro. Obviously, you may not even need Pro if you just want to get started, because the free plan should just be more than enough for quite a bit of people, actually.
Yeah. If you want Guard, you can sign up for Pro, but for everybody else, it's just kind of like it would probably work just fine.
Oh, I see. I know, Guard is in Pro. Got it.
Yeah, Guard is in Pro just because you've got that AI usage, and I know we're thinking about wrapping up soon, but I know we've got a lot of extra comments and stuff like that. Feel free to just shoot me an email, ryan@inbound.new, with any other comments, questions, feature ideas, or anything like that. I'm more than happy to kind of answer that. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we'll go over some of the last questions. I think someone's asking, how sustainable is it for as a 5K tier? And as far as I know, the best free deal out there with inbound mail even. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple larger corporate deals that keep the free tier very sustainable right now. That kind of offset it. So it's not like that 5K free tier will be going away in like a month because it's like, oh, we ran out of money or anything like that. It's very sustainable right now. So that if that were to change, it would be in like a year, not in like a couple months.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody asked about like enterprise scalability type of thing. I think enterprise requires like the SOC stuff. If you have that type of requirement, it says like not right now, but it sounds like it could be later.
It's on the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the way. Yeah. Okay. And then what's the difference?
If you need, I'll answer the latency really quick. Latency is about 300 milliseconds. So the second that inbound email gets received by the mail server, it gets and triggers that webhook within about 300 to 500 milliseconds. So it's not like a couple of minutes or anything like that. It is pretty much lightning speed. And those replies that are sent, that is within about 1 second from you sending it to it coming up and popping into somebody's inbox.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. And I think you had some other questions or something you were going to say. I forget.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't need the compliance and stuff like that as of right now, and you just want the enterprise sort of ability and like the volume, we do have a growth and scale plan. Growth has 100,000 emails per month with 200 domains, and scale has 200,000 emails per month with 500 domains. And if you need something like that, you can very easily look into that. We kind of meet you wherever you're at. And if you need a custom plan or something like that, feel free to reach out to me and I can put something together for you. Because that's what it's like. I'm not trying to make this be the next like massive unicorn. I just want to make something that is accessible to anyone. So it's like if you need like 500,000, we can get you on a scale plus or something like that and custom build the plan and the pricing directly for you.
That's cool. That's cool. I guess, does the license have any limitations? Can I do whatever I want with it, basically?
So the way that is set up is you can send and receive whatever emails you want, but we do have fraud, scam, and virus policies. So if you start sending a lot of spammy emails and everything like that, it will tank your account reputation. And we cannot restore accounts if you've been sending out a lot of spam, because everybody hates spam and I do not want to contribute to that.
Yeah.
So we have very aggressive spam filters. So if we detect that you're kind of sending out like a bunch of spam that's not really targeted, not really catered and stuff like that, it will lock your account. So don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if for licensing and stuff like that, if like you want to resell inbound and become an inbound wrapper for another service of yours, you absolutely can do that. We have one of our primary vendors, Agentuity, which is an agents platform, and they are doing just that, where basically you can get an email address to be able to send to an agent, and that is built on inbound, and it just works.
Oh, snap. Yo.
And we've got some other
I can make a rapper
major,
on top of rappers and be making rapper money as a rapper for rappers.
Exactly. So yeah.
It's a good time to be a rapper. I appreciate the comments on the anime link. I really appreciate that. Another question I think somebody had about link tracking, I think, or email openings and clicks. I think less link tracking, more for email openings and stuff.
It's tracked internally. We haven't exposed it just yet because I'm going to be adding some enhanced sort of metrics where it's like, like the browser information that they clicked with and everything like that. So that's coming. It's tracked internally, but I haven't made it publicly accessible yet because it's not to the degree of precision that I would like. But it's coming soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I appreciate that. These are really great questions. This one says, I need about 500K emails. Oh yeah, I think we talked about that as well. Like, and it's like, everyone's like, who are you emailing for 500K a month, bro? Like, we got agents, my agents got agents, right? So it's like,
exactly.
It sounds like there's a lot of use cases.
Agent world.
Yeah, man. Ryan is just an awesome human being. If you haven't followed him, go ahead and check him out. And you speak publicly also, about different things, and you build heavily with Next.js as well, and you're constantly doing like educating people about stuff. So I definitely would recommend. And he has some cool apps. Like this is like one of your side projects that kind of really starting to take off too, right? As far as emails.
Yeah, I've got a ton of different side projects that I do on the side when I primarily work at Databricks, which is really Neon. So if you ever need help with Neon or anything like that, feel free to tag me on X and I'll be more than happy to kind of help with the database. Inbound is built on Neon, which makes me be able to ship so quickly with it, all the branching and the snapshots and capabilities. It's just like I can open a new Neon branch and then just let the agent kind of run forward, and it just kind of works. It doesn't really have any issues or anything like that. So yeah.
Dang, that's cool. Yeah, someone's like, can we arrange a live stream with Ryan for solo dev stuff and the workshops? I think that'd be a really cool idea, actually, to like have a stream where we just kind of cook live, an idea, maybe take something like this or take, so another app that I have cooking that I'm going to reveal now, just is around translation for PDFs. So a friend of mine, she had a stroke. She's like mid 70s, early 70s. And so she was in Switzerland and they went to a hospital. Thank goodness, everything was fine. Everyone spoke French, and they, for liability, they didn't have people on staff that had the English translation. So all the billing, everything came up. She had these 33-page doctor notes and everything was all in French, but they needed them to go in the US so she can be cleared from her doctor there to fly and all that stuff. And so she hit me up. She's like, my husband tried to put this in Google and all this other stuff. And so then I found a language model that was able to correctly do the translation extremely accurately and preserve the layout. And I sent that back to her in 15 minutes, and they're just like, we spent a whole day with this, And I was like, well, this is an app, clearly. And then since then, they've kept hitting me up saying, we got the bills from them. We need to translate this again. So I was like, this is an app that could even be inside of ChatGPT. And then eventually when I get, customers, people could just say, whatever, translate app. And so I want to build this app. Maybe we can build it live or something where it's just simple. Throw the PDF, do a call, do the formatting, translate, show it up. And then, if people who sign up get the sign-ups things and emails, and, there's a lot of also not only transactional emails, but maybe they want to send email on behalf of the app to the doctor or something like that.
Right.
There's a lot of different flows, but I just need to get MVP going. And then we can even hook in voice and all the other things too. And you can even do some analysis on the email. There's a lot of interesting things that can be done with this
there's
platform.
amount of stuff that you could kind of do. That's the fun part about it. It's like you can kind of basically build and create anything.
Yeah. So do you have a second to maybe draw a quick, maybe I would say like a stack or architectural diagram of kind of the emails in general, so that we can visualize like, here's where we are, and then here's some of the things that we'll have to build for our app. Like, whenever I want to manage emails, I think this is like what we're thinking about. Like, this is kind of what you offer, or what does like a audience setup look like? Is that something that you offer, or is contained inside of your thing, or maybe just not even inbound specific, but just if you're thinking about integrating emails into an app, what does that structure kind of look like, or what are some of the basic components that we'll need?
I was going to draw it out, but I think it's better if I just kind of give like a high level explanation
Okay.
of inbound and all of these other type of things. So basically inbound, resend, send grid, they give you the webhook. And once that webhook has been delivered, it is up to you to either do something with that data, mutate that data, or anything like that. And then if you want to send or reply or forward the email, then you hit the appropriate email API, whether that be inbound.reply, resend.send, or anything like that. Then the second you do that, it basically assumes that you have vetted and checked everything. So you want to make sure that in between the webhook getting received and the email being sent, whether that be a reply or anything else, that you're actually checking and making sure that your content is good. So it's not like we don't have anything at inbound where it's like, oh, maybe you misspelled something in an email, because it's an API. We don't want devs to send something and then what they receive in the client's inbox is something different. We want them to be able to send what they want and expect what they send. So it's very, very systematic from an API approach, where it's like you got that webhook coming in, you mutate the data, send it, receive it, forward it, and then you can send that data elsewhere.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense as far as just what you need is like, you're getting the stuff, you're getting it in, and then how you're going to use it for the app and stuff like that. I think, before we kind of wrap up here, there's a couple other questions, like what AWS regions does inbound support?
We are in US East 1, which, if you're not familiar with how email regions work, it's just the region of the mail server. So it's not like where if Ray sends an email halfway across the world, it's not like it's going to take like 30 minutes. It might take like a couple extra microseconds or something like that, or milliseconds. And really with email, nobody's expecting it to be instant, like a real-time app or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we're in US East 2, haven't had any issues. We were avoided by the US East 1 outage, which is specifically why I picked US East 2, because I'm like, if any major load comes down, I don't want to be a part of that.
Wow.
And if we need more regions in the future, then that will be supported. And I also thought about this. This will be coming soon in the next couple of months. Let's say you love the inbound UI and the layout and everything like that of it, but you want to use your own AWS credentials. You will be able to bring your own AWS credentials and region to inbound, all in the hosted experience, and basically be able to let everything kind of work through there. So you can use the inbound APIs and everything like that nicely, and have it all hosted for you. But then you would be able to use your own account. So identities and everything like that.
Crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Because that's actually what I was going to try to build myself. I was like, all right, I need the AWS thing. Okay, I need to learn about SES. I need to learn about queues. I need to learn about, I just kept going down these rabbit holes, and every single day I kept learning. It's like, okay, do I want to do this? Is it worth my time? Eventually, yes. But right now, there's already demand for my app for a specific community. And like that takes a higher priority for me right now. Serving those customers, iterating on the feedback. The fastest way, besides having a form for people to give feedback, is those emails to reach out directly, informing them that they, should check out the app and do that type of stuff. So I think this type of thing to me seems like an enabler, even just to get started for free for that, inbound.new. So man, that's amazing. Right. Yeah, that's cool. Dude, man. Ryan is cooking. And tell us about some of the other fun projects that you're working on besides the email stuff. I know you have like a 3D printer. You're doing all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, so I also run a 3D printing company, so you can get on-demand 3D prints. So let's say you've got, let me see if I can find a model.
You did one for like, I think Cursor or something, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I did a custom cursor. Let me see if I can, should be shop.engine3D.
Wait, so if I wanted to send you like a prototype, you can just print it for me? Oh, that's crazy.
You don't even have to send it. That's the best part. So let's go to our cart here. We'll do this. Let's see if we can download that. Yep,
Can you
download
print
it.
me a
And
set
we'll
of
remove
double
this
PVC
file.
caps?
So then watch. So we've got this 3D file down here. Let's drag and drop it onto Mansion 3D. What it will do is it will upload. It will then slice the file to give you an instant quote just like that. And then you can check out and order it. And it just works. And you get it within about a week.
That's insane. Holy smack. Wow.
And
can we do a double PVC keycaps?
I mean, I can, but I don't know if it will be the level of quality. But it definitely would be possible. But then this is what I was showing to you earlier, Ray. I also did something like this for Cursor, and it's like if you have used a ton of stuff like that in Cursor and a bunch of tokens, you can basically do like Cursor, Windsurf, OpenAI. You can type in your name and get like a custom little plaque thing, and it's so fun to be able to do everything like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was thinking about setting something up for my members on YouTube and on X as well, and our my members in the Discord, because there are certain people who have basically consumed 1 billion tokens in a month. Which is insane. Yeah. Holy smokes, John Doe. That's oh wow. And this is all 3D printed.
Yep. You can get a custom 3D printed plaque and everything like that. Yeah, we should see if we can get something partnered with Droid to see if like people that use over X amount of tokens get like a little plaque or something like that.
Like a factory, yeah.
That'd be super cool. Yeah, factory little thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be me, dude. Yeah, Droid. I love how much it cooks and stuff. It's really awesome. Holy smokes! Wow, dude, what are you not doing then, like, bro? Like,
I know, right? It's how do I have free time? That's the ultimate idea and goal.
Well, I think all of us love to tinker, and you love to tinker and just be an engineer. I think that's what it's really all about. And I think, I don't know, for you, like, what do you think about this? I know people are extra critical about code output for the AI agents, which, depending on the tasks, does it matter as much? Does it matter as much? No. Like, I think a lot of people in my live streams have been enabled by this technology, ideas to code faster. And then as you learn the craft of engineering, I was just telling Ryan, like, inbound email was your side project, and then you're having Slackbound right now, the Slack thing that's based off that. You've learned so much just building the email client and that whole infrastructure, a protocol that you normally probably didn't spend a lot of time in, but now that you spend time in, especially as a developer, you kind of then start to understand the ins and outs and the little nuances. Right. And that's what it's really all about, just spending some time in a specific library. Like, how has like this stuff enabled you to spin up projects now? I mean, pretty fast. Like, I don't know, what are you thinking about like some of these, AI coding agents?
Yeah. So I'm able to iterate just really, really quickly with all these AI agents nowadays, because it's like, I am a developer and I do know how stuff should work, but I can break it down into very simple, easy to implement projects and problems and stuff like that the AI agent just natively understands and is able to quickly spit out. So it has allowed me to iterate like super, super quickly with AI. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it's only a matter of time where, I mean, I've already seen, like, when I give it an MCP server like Exacode or Ref Tools, where it's once it has the guidance, it's pretty good at sticking through and a certain convention or something like that. And are there, so like for the apps that you're building right now, like, It sounds like the email thing is kind of like came out of necessity because you were building apps. You sort of needed this for yourself. And then the Slack thing. Can you show us a little bit? I want to see this little Slack thing. If you have any demo or anything,
Let
or
me
like what is it going to be
see.
about? Yeah.
Let me see if I got a demo working.
Okay.
We will check.
Or what was the reason maybe why you're coming up with the Slackbound thing too?
Yeah, I'll talk on that while I get this set up. So yeah, the reason behind Slackbound is, well, here, focus on us for right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's
for
okay.
the
Gotcha.
cameras.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
I want to make sure that everything
Yeah.
gets all set up. So yeah, so like the point with Slackbound was kind of just to create something so I would be able to, because I hated having to switch between email and Slack and email and Slack and email and Slack. I was like, I wish everything could just kind of live inside of Slack and I could just manage everything from that. So what I did was I was like, okay, well, I wonder if I can use inbound and set it up so that way when I am sending and receiving messages from Slack, what if I could just forward that on to a Slack or to an email address or something like that, but then have everything kind of be like fully threaded. So, like everything would kind of work. So that's where I built Slackbound, which is basically just a
Let me know
wrapper.
when to switch, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. Which is basically just a wrapper on top of inbound using all of the same inbound threads and APIs and everything like that. And it just all kind of works,
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about like email addresses or seats or configuration. People just respond and reply in Slack threads and it just works and you have no issues. So
wow.
I'm trying to get this pulled up right here. There we go. So you can switch now.
Okay, cool.
So we'll do a live demo of this right here. So
We'll do it
basically,
live.
this is my John Richards demo right here, and I sent in Slackbound right here. I created this email address that whenever that email address receives an email, it posts to the Slack channel. Now you're like, Ryan, come on, Slack already has that. You can already create an email address that posts to a Slack channel. Yes, but you can't do this. So I'll open this message as a thread and I'll say, hey, John, how are you today? And I'll send that. And then if we go back over to the email, we'll then see that it replied to our email. And then we'll say, I'm good. How are you? And then we'll go back here and we'll wait a little bit. You see a little check mark here that's like, okay, that reply has been sent. And this makes it so that way you can talk to people that have external channels and messages and workspaces, but you don't have to set them up with Slack Connect or something like that. It just works and it's fully threaded. So like, for example, once that email comes in, you will see that it pops back up in here. Boom, I'm good. How about you? And you can send and receive attachments, everything like that through it. So you never have to leave Slack. And you can just completely work your company. And the obscure domain here, this doesn't have to be an obscure domain. You can set it up with inbound. You can have ray.com and have it be like support at ray.com or your little niche of a niche product. You can have a support thing and all support tickets would just come in here and you wouldn't have to open up an email app. You'd just be able to be like, hey, God, that looks good. Thanks. And it just works like it. So yeah, we got this in Slack right now. It's probably going to be coming to Teams, Discord, and everything like that. So if you wanted to have a custom support channel set up in Discord, you can do it with that as well.
That's crazy. That is actually super awesome because that was kind of the next thing. It's like, how do you funnel these support emails back? And like you say, if you already have Slack set up, it's just one-time thing. And then if you want to interface with other people who are external, you can technically in your own Slack have a channel you set up and then they just interface over email or whatever it is, and you don't have to get them in your Slack because you're probably just sending emails anyways.
Yeah, you can check that out. If you want to check it out, it's at slackbound.com. We're releasing in a couple of days. So make sure to jump on that wait list.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to share and all I have time to share for today. But
Dude, appreciate you
yeah,
coming on the stream and taking the time to share with our audience. For those who haven't had a chance, go ahead and check out Ryan Vogel. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thank you so much. I learned a whole bunch, and I can't wait to, actually ship my little email thing. So this is really exciting.
yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. And I love just talking in community and sharing and learning everything that I've kind of learned. So yeah, it's been an absolute honor.
Cool. All right, catch you guys later, man.
See ya.